There's sound coming on the phone?
Oh, yeah. Make sure it's silent too.
And that's the thing, is like
He's got a great story.
right. We were so excited. Well, I didn't know what to think. Baby. Oh, I'm like, I had to be.
Are you good? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wiltsie's. I see a lot of new faces. Just show of hands, how many people are the first time here tonight? I'd say pretty much everybody. So Wiltsie's is a pop-up music venue celebrating independent musicians. Everything is by and for the musicians. It's even run by a musician. This one back here, Jackie Pappas. Andrew back here is the lighting guy. Daniel around here is the video guy. So we got a lot of people that make this whole thing happen. So we do a few shows a month. All that information can be found on Facebook. So that's probably why we found us here tonight. So tonight we're in for a really amazing treat. But before we get started, a couple kind of house rules. So first, I ask that you set your phones to silent. Just make sure you respect the artist here. And this is very much a listening experience, so just ask you to give your attention to our fine gentlemen up here tonight. On the back, you'll find a restroom that's just behind the merch table. It's a sliding barn door, so that's where you can go to relieve yourself. There's also got a merch table back there, so definitely go give some love to the artist here afterwards. So yeah, so it brings me great pleasure to welcome this fine gentleman, Mr. Dixon, here to the stage. I saw him for the first time last week in Thailand. I've never heard his music before. Absolutely stunned. It was a transcendental experience, so I'm sure there will be no less for you here tonight. So let's give a big round of applause for Dixon's Violin.
Thank you. Raise your hand if you've ever been paid before. Awesome. One more thought, actually. That's super cool. Nice. Hey, nice. Bishop never heard of that. First time. You are brave. It's my first time here, and I am super thrilled. And I want to warn you, this is your first time, I want to warn you, this is live. Everything you're about to hear is live. There's nothing pre-recorded. There are no tracks, there are no samples, no MP3s, and not amplified or anything that exists to be boards, carte blanche, clean slate. Every single sound you're about to hear is coming from this violin. I'm just playing with the waveform as it comes through. I don't have a time limit. I don't have a set list. I'm not just playing songs. What I have is an intention. And my intention is to share my heart with you. It's to share my soul with you. It's to get out of my head if I can. Get out of my own way and just let something through. To do that, you need to feel deeply. And I encourage you to do the same thing. And with that in mind, I invite you to join me in 3 deep breaths. So take a moment, settle in, close your eyes if you want. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Take a deep breath in. Feel free to make sound as you exhale. Take a deep breath in, and let it all go. That's better. Okay, so breathe normally. Open your eyes if you want. I'm going to start with what I like to call a sound that doesn't exist. Yeah. You've never heard this before. I've never heard this before. We're going to create it together right now. Thank you so much. So as a reminder, it's a view subzone. I know space is a little tight here, but if you feel like dancing, there's little pockets. I see if I go there, if I go there. So if you want to get your stretch on, or if you want to move, I don't feel like you're in front of your chair. I just want to sit up to you. Don't hold yourself back. Don't hold yourself back. And if you're flat, often you're why? When I say, I wanted to wiggle here. I didn't have the first person. No, please, you can read the glow. It's a great place for it. Feel free if you want to take photos, videos, that's cool. If you want to print it or take it, that's cool. If you want to do it, that's cool. Ready? Thank you so much. I was told very specifically, you can't do that on a violin. You can't do that on a violin. I said, you can't make those notes. Violin doesn't go that low. You can't make those sounds. You can't be a whole band with just one violin. You can't do this for a living. I was told you can't many, many, many times. And the worst part is it was usually me. Telling me, I can never do that. I can't do that. No one does that. It's amazing how much I stop myself. Why do we stop ourselves so much, right? So I encourage us to, believe in ourselves. You can do these things. You can. You can do anything you set your mind to, anything. And I've been delighting in, finding weird things to do with the violin that I was never taught. I was taught a very rigid way. I also realized I don't know all of you. I want to meet all of you. On the count of three, tell me your name. 1, 2, 3, go. Nice to meet you. I'm Dixon. Hi.
Hi, Dixon.
Glad you're here. So I'm a Michigander. I grew up outside of Flint, a little town called Davison. And we're in Clarkston. It's actually not that far. Sometimes I'm 1,000 miles from home, and so people don't know Davison. But so I actually went to Davison High, and then I went to U of M Flint for my undergrad in computer science. Computer science was my first degree, and then I went to Michigan State for my second degree in computer science. And so I'm a geek. Hi.
Hi.
And now I'm in Ann Arbor, but I never intended to be a musician. My big thing was technology, and I had a very serious career in Lansing for like 17 years. I was in technology. I was part of these successful startup companies, and I specialized in multidimensional data visualization. I'm a geek. Hi. And what was happening is I was playing classical music as a hobby since I was 10 years old. And it was always just a hobby, and I never really took it that seriously. I mean, I was in orchestras and symphonies and such, but it was always this very brainy way of approaching it. And I was not in touch with my feelings. And it wasn't until I went to a festival in 2005 that changed my life, and that's when I started to realize that I was missing out on a lot of life. I saw other people around me that were living and expressing and flowing and being and feeling and emoting, and I never was. I was always in my head. Always in my head. That's all I knew. And so when I saw other people like operating from their heart space, it really was like, whoa, I mean, it's safe to come out? Like, really? I was terrified. It was like, no, if I open up the feelings, I might get hurt. Well, that's true, but if you don't open up the feelings, you might not really live. Right? So I started experimenting, and I started to like crack out of my little shell. And part of that was musically, so I started to experiment with music for the first time. So I've been playing classical for 25 years, and then I fell in love with music when I started to get weird. I used to be like, no, I'm not weird, I want to be normal. I want to be like the normal people. And now I believe there's no such thing as normal people. Like, if you think someone is normal, you just don't know them well enough yet. Really get to know them. They're weird too. It's great. So now I celebrate the weird, and I'm like, yes, do your own thing and get weird and get outside the box, and I've been delighting in that. And so I started experimenting with music, and eventually it became so important to me that I quit the corporate world to follow my dream. And so now that's all I've been doing for full time for 11 years now.
Wow.
So, yes,
Great.
really blessed. Thank you. We're gonna get a little weird here. Here we go. you so much. Hey, Dixon, what's the name of that song? I don't know. It's my favorite. I used to need to know. I played classical music, so I always had the notes written down. That was my crutch. I had the notes, and I needed to know. It's like, I need to know what's going to happen on page 4. Because how can I operate life without having a plan? How can I go through life without knowing what's going to happen? Guess what? We don't know what's going to happen. I used to like cling to that plan out of fear of like, oh my God, it must go according to plan, and if it doesn't go to plan, it's lost. Now I know that it's okay to have a plan and be ready to abandon that plan at any moment. Trust. So I'm going to play one more song, and then we're going to take a quick break. And so, and then there's going to be a whole other second set. So just a quick housekeeping thing. So I'm going to do one more thing, and I don't know what it is. You ready? Yeah. Me too. Here we go. break, so feel free to get up, stretch, use the restroom. Hey, there's a merch table over there with lots of cool stuff. Check it out. And we'll be back in like, what, 10 minutes, I think?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Cool.
I know.
I knew when
All music here.
even though the show was small, relatively, but I knew it was gonna be all right. It's amazing.
That's our venue for
Really?
We've been running this concert through solar power. think it's time. It's time that we get a little gritty. We get a little dark. We're gonna work some stuff out. So this is a time, if you got some stuff you need to work out, this is a perfect time to work that out. You ready? All right, here we go. tired of me to shake it out, shake it out. Yeah. Why do I like that so much? When I played classical music, my favorite was angry concertos. I'm a happy guy. Why do I like this angry music? I realized I was finally venting. Finally venting. Have a vent, folks. Don't do what I did. I would try to bottle it up and be like, I'm fine, but I wasn't fine. Right? But I'd say I was fine. I would think I was fine, I was not fine. But no, have a vent, have a way. Oh, get it out, get it out. And guys, by the way, we're the worst at this. Like, we're told to man up, we're told to be strong, be tough. That's horrible advice. Horrible. Like, honor your feelings, honor your emotions, and have a way to process them in a way where you're not hurting anybody, including yourself, right? So music is a fabulous way to do that, right? Find a drum, bang on a drum, right? Or find a canvas and throw ink on the canvas, or learn from kids. Kids are brilliant. Throw a tantrum. This feels so good. Try it. Trust me. Afterwards, you'll be like, why did you wait so long? Right? Work it out. And what's cool is, like, if you're working stuff out, it doesn't serve you anymore. Like, you're making space in yourself for something new. So now my question to you is, what do you want to bring in to your life?
Cheers.
Can't do that on a violin. You can do anything you set your mind to. Anything you set your mind to. The trick, by the way, I like to say anybody can play the violin. Anybody can play the violin. The trick is the first 2 years suck. Yeah, for 2 years it's awful. Just ask my parents. I like the, have you heard of the 10,000 hour rule? Like that's, I despise the idea of prodigy. Oh, they were born with it. No, they weren't. I wasn't. Right? No, it's practice. Like you just practice. And the challenge is that you just got to get through the part where it sounds awful for a long time. Right? But everybody gets good if you just keep at it. People give up too soon. Oh, I tried it for a whole month. Let's get warmed up. So whatever it is you're trying in the world, and I hope you're trying something. I hope you got some idea, something that you're like, oh, I've always wanted to do this thing. Now's a great time for that. Great time on the planet for that. Right? Yes. Try it. Be okay with it being awkward and ugly and scratchy and weird for a while. Like, I used to be so worried about that. Like, because I came from the classical world, and the myth there was you were supposed to be perfect. Right? There's no such thing. But I bought into that myth. I was like, oh yeah, I want to be perfect. And well, the person that's first chair, they're perfect. And the person that's second chair is close to perfect. And I'm here in the back. Or like, what? No. We're all human. We're all learning and growing. And it's okay to be awkward for a while. Keep at it. I still make mistakes constantly. But I don't beat myself up like I used to. And I will make 17 mistakes today. I've already made 12. Okay. Going. So I hope you like get out of your comfort zone, try something. Yeah, stretch, grow, you find you're more powerful than you know. I'm gonna play 2 more songs. We're gonna get a little weird on this next one. I have an idea for how it starts. Because it's something I did once and I was like, whoa, that was a mistake. Let's do it again. That was neat.
I was gonna say there's a little fuse, but we're on solar. Does that matter? I don't know how any of that stuff works.
Right.
That's cool.
What are we doing?
We're gonna peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, we're kind of
Yes.
Big shut up. Yep. Yep. It's okay. We'll just use it. Wow. That hasn't happened.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Ever.
Yeah.
There's just so much energy happening. There.
It's like getting a grasp of what's going on.
Get it together.
Yeah, step one. Assess the situation. Gather information. See the steps.
I may.
Everything else. Never happened before.
No, I'm just
I hear it.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Check the
And
measurement.
an angel. Self-services. I've never heard anyone call it that other than me, actually. Yes. There's never been anyone, honestly, that refers to it as that exact. You're the only person I know that calls it that. Yep. Just another strange coincidence. I may.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Oh, behind the R buttons again.
Sometimes, like, average things people say just strike me as very funny.
Yeah.
Okay. You got that one?
Hey, you're live. All right. I love this. I am very blessed. So I quit the corporate world. I've been doing this full time for 11 years. And in those, 12 years, if you count the transition year there, I've just passed a milestone. I've now done over 1,000 performances. It's crazy. And what's really fun is I'm still learning. Every day that I do, I learn something. And hey, we just learned something on this one too, so it's really cool. I love that. And so for the next 1,000, I'm really looking forward to it's like, what are we going to learn next time? And the next time, and the next time. It's really, really cool. I love my life. Okay, we're getting weird.
Yes.
We're going to jump right back into it. Ready?
Take two. Weirder.
I love doing this. I love doing this. I am so grateful that you're here. This is my first time ever here playing this bass. Gratitude for the space, this wonderful, intimate venue here. I love it here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Brendan and the team for hosting, to Jackie and everybody. There's a whole set of people that helped make this happen. Gratitude to my team, to 6-7 Kevin, and gratitude to Zaina. I cannot do this by myself, and I'm really grateful. And I can't do this without you being here, so thank you for being here. A special shout out to the friends that told friends. I love it when people are like, hey, I never heard of you before, but my friend said I should check you out. Thank you, that friend. That's super, super helpful. What I do is weird and different, and it's really tough to get the word out. And so it is very much appreciated. So I'm going to play one more song, and then I'd love to say hi. And I'd also love you to take the music home with you. So in the back there, Zaina's helping. We have 5 different CDs that are available. And what we've started to do is to include MP3 download codes with them too. So if you don't have a CD player, you can still get the MP3s with those. And there's a new box set. And it's the deluxe box set. It's got all the CDs, and it's got a flash drive. It has MP3s of all the CDs and a bunch of videos, including a full concert video. And there's like 12 hours of music. It's a whole enchilada. That. And we just started, for the first time ever this year, now offering T-shirts. Zaina's not on. Yes, T-shirts. And please. In 11 years I've been doing this, and I resisted. I'm like, I don't want to just have branding and a big logo on there. And then I realized, wait a minute, no, we'll make this a positive message. And the name of this tour is Human Kindness. This came to me literally in a dream. It came to me with the words humankind and kindness put together. Human kindness. Right now in the world especially, we are so divided. We are so against one another. It is time for us to remember that we're all human. Even the people you don't agree with, we're all human. And so let's treat each other with extra kindness. People are going through some tough stuff. We do not know the struggles at all that so many people have. Everyone has, and we just don't know. So, positive message, be sure to be extra kind with one another. And one last thing before I take this last song is if this is the first time you've heard me play, I hope you've heard something impossible, something you thought was impossible. The point is not that I'm doing something impossible, the point is that you can do the impossible. Think big. I hope you have an idea or some project or some like life change or some big thing that's kind of scary because it's so big. That one. Yes. The world needs that. The world needs you more than ever. There's a lot of suffering that's still happening on the planet. Shout out to the Ukraine right now, people who are struggling there. So how can we be of service to others? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please everybody say hi and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.